Hello, Sunbeamers. I hope you all are fine. So, we are going to start a new chapter. It is classification of plants. In the previous class, we have learned what are the importance and advantages of classifying organisms on the basis of their similarities so that it will be easy for having a study on them and it will also avoid confusion. And we have also learned the different taxons, that is, your kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species on the basis of the similarities of the organisms, how they are classified. And also we have learned about the nomenclature of different organisms to avoid the confusions which are generated due to presence of various languages and the difference in names to which they are called. So classification of plants. So in this chapter, we will basically discuss about your kingdom, Plantae. Okay. Kingdom, Plantae. I think I should change the color. Okay. 1 second. Huh? The plant kingdom can be classified into two broad categories, that is your non-flowering plants. 1 minute. I think red is only good. That is your cryptogames. Non-flowering plants are called cryptogames and the flowering plants are called phanerogames. So there are some plants which give flower and some plants which do not give flower. So the plant that bears flower are called your cryptogames and the plants that do not have your flower are called your phanerogames. So cryptogames are the non-flowering plants that are further divided into three groups: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. It is your P pteridophyta, but here P is silent. So again, your cryptogames are divided into they're divided into three groups: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. Thallophyta includes algae, bacteria, and fungi. See, bacteria and fungi both are of different kingdoms, but here we are discussing about them because they have some similar characteristics with the plants. But you should keep in mind that the bacteria and fungi we will discuss here will be included in kingdom Monera or fungi. Okay. Hallophyta do not bear roots, stems, or leaves. They rather have an undifferentiated body. See, when you will go, you will see a normal plant in your garden. You will see they have proper stem, they have a leaf, they have a root. But this Thallophyta do not have a proper differentiated body. They have an undifferentiated body. There you cannot differentiate between roots, stem, or leaf. You will see entire body is either single cell or they are a group of cells. Okay, you will not able to differentiate between different parts of the plant. So that's why they are called as a thallophyta. They have a thallus body, single thallus body, no differentiation. So first part of thallophyta is your algae. Algae may be unicellular or multicellular. See, there are some unicellular algae or multicellular algae. Algae mostly grow in stagnant water. Stagnant water means that is your water without movement. There will be no movement in water. Water will be stored in one place. There you will find algae. Your maybe in puddles, streams, or pond. In lakes, streams, you will find the algae. The green layer seen on the surface of water in the pond in algae. You will go to a pond which is not used or polluted. You will see a green layer is formed on the pond. That is the algae. Or in the rainy season also on the walls of your home you can see algae are grown. Okay, so they grow on in puddles, that is your marshy little bit wetty areas or ponds. You can easily see algae, as all algae contain green pigment chlorophyll. All algae contain green pigment chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis. They make the food on their own. Okay, for making their food on their own, your chlorophyll is very much important. In the picture you can see the photo of a algae, Spirogyra and volvox. You can see they are green in color. Why they are green? Because of presence of chlorophyll. In addition to chlorophyll, algae may also have other colors like green, brown, and red. Okay. Both red and brown algae are found in seawater. See, algae are of three colors. Okay. Green color, your red color, and brown color. On the basis of color, they are also given different scientific name, chlorophyce, pheophyce, and rhodophyce, but it is not important for you now. Brown algae are called kelp. This one is important. What we call as brown algae, kelp, and the largest known plants and may grow up to 60 meter. The most known, largest known plants are your brown algae. Okay, some examples of algae, see Spirogyra, Chlamydomonax, and Volvox. These are some examples of your algae. Next is your bacteria. Bacteria we have already discussed about in your previous lesson. Here also the same thing is given. Just we will discuss it in a short. They are present almost everywhere inside our bodies also. In our intestine also we get bacteria. Bacteria are of two types, harmful bacteria and useful bacteria. Some bacteria are useful for us, that is for making curd also. For in our body, B12 production also, bacteria are useful. And bacteria are also useful for fermentation. And some bacteria also are very harmful. They cause diseases, harmful diseases. Next is your fungi. Fungi, see, if you keep your bread some in bed for some days in open, you will see black patches are formed in your bed. That black patches is your fungi. Okay, the cotton like patches formed on the bread is your fungus, or plural is fungi. They lack chlorophyll. Fungi do not have chlorophyll. They do not have chlorophyll, so they cannot prepare their own food. They cannot prepare their own food. Okay, they feed on organic matter. Fungi, examples are your molds, yeast, mushrooms, and toadstools. Okay, see here is your Aquarius, agaricus, that is your mushroom, and penicillium. Penicillium is very important for preparation of medicines. These are your fungi. Fungi are parasitic in nature. They may be parasitic in nature, that is, derive their food from other living beings because they cannot produce their own food. They depend on other for their food. So they are parasitic. Or saprophytic, that is, they derive their food from decaying organisms, like your vulture. Okay. Decaying organisms means suppose एक already एक organism मर चुका है और वो मरने के स्टेट में है, उससे वो फूड ले जाते हैं डेड और डिकेइंग से, तो उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं saprophytic. The food obtained from the dead and decaying organisms, the organisms that obtain food from the dead and decaying organisms are called saprophytes or saprophytic organisms. So how they reproduce? Fungi reproduce by spore formation, budding, and fragmentation. So this one you have to remember in detail. You will read in class 8. Fungi, how they reproduce? 3 points: spore formation, budding, and fragmentation. Fungi you will find unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular is yeast. Yeast is basically, you have to remember, yeast is a unicellular fungi, and multicellular mushroom, penicillium, they all are multicellular fungi. They grow best in warmth and moisture places. Okay, they are best grown in your warmth and moisture places. Also in your food and skin also they can grow. Sometimes you see you will be feeling itching. The itching is basically because of fungi. Here you see different shapes of bacteria: cocci, bacilli, spiral. Okay, spiral, your bacilli, and cocci. These are the your shapes of bacteria you can see here in the picture. Next is your bryophyta. First class we have already completed algae. Second is your bryophyta. See, bacteria and fungi are normally not included in cryptograms, but why we have discussed, because there are some similar characteristics between plant and bacteria. That is your blue-green algae you must have heard, but that blue-green algae is included in Monera rather than in Plnts. That blue-green algae is in the kingdom Monera, not in Plnts. Bryophyta, that is your mosses. These mosses also you can see in your walls in rainy seasons specifically, not in other seasons. These plants grow at moist places and need water to reproduce. Okay, water to see mosses. You can see the mosses here, see how they are grown. And they need water to reproduce. Since they grow on land but need water for reproduction, they are called amphibians of plant kingdom. Amphibians means they live both in land and water. Here, these bryophyta need water for reproduction, so they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom. Biophytes include mosses and liverworts. You have to remember the examples: mosses and liverworts. They do not have true roots. Instead, they have thread-like structures called rhizoids. Question may come: what are the thread-like structures that look like roots in bryophyta or mosses? Rhizoids. See, they look like rhizoids. This one is your rhizoids. You see, this is your rhizoids. How they are looking, thread-like structures. Okay, 1 minute. Next is your rhizoids help the plant to anchor with the soil and absorb water and minerals. See, normal plant, what the root does, the root help the plant in anchoring. Anchoring means attach the plant firmly to the place they're adhered to. जिस प्लेस में वो है उस जगह में उसको स्ट्रांगली अटैच करके रखना और जब वहां से वाटर और मिनरल्स एब्जॉर्ब करना, जैसे कि प्लांट में रूट करता है नॉर्मल प्लांट्स में, ट्रीज में, इसी तरह हमारे ब्रायोफाइट्स में राइजोइड्स वही काम करते हैं. राइजोइड्स हेल्प द प्लांट टू एंकर विद द सॉइल एंड एब्जॉर्ब वाटर एंड मिनरल्स. Commonly, mosses can be seen on the damp soil or on the bark of the trees. Okay, normally उस जगह में होता है, लेकिन ये एक चीज याद रखना है कि they are the amphibian of plant kingdom and the thread-like structures which look like roots in the bryophytes are known as rhizoids, but they do not have true roots. उनमें true roots नहीं होते हैं, do not have true roots. ये ट्रू फॉल्स में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. टेरिडोफाइट, टेरिडोफाइट्स मींस फॉर्म्स. बायोफाइट्स क्या बोलते हैं? मॉसेस, लिवरवर्ट्स. टेरिडोफाइट्स आर फॉर्म्स. दिस प्लांट्स ग्रो इन डैम्प एंड शेडी एरियाज. मतलब वेटी एरियाज, शेडी एरियाज. वेटी एरियाज में जहां ये थोड़ा मॉइस्चराइज्ड एरियाज में. ओके, दे हैव वेल डेवलप्ड लीव, स्टेम एंड रूट, बट नो फ्लावर्स एंड सीड्स आर प्रोड्यूस. सी, इसमें लीव, स्टेम, रूट सब होते हैं, लेकिन फ्लावर प्रोड्यूस नहीं होते, इसलिए इनको क्रिप्टोगेम्स में रखा गया है. ठीक है. सी, योर थैलोफाइटा इज ऑलरेडी ओवर. थैलोफाइटा में क्या क्या होता है? योर एल्गे, बैक्टीरिया एंड फंगाई. नेक्स्ट इज योर ब्रायोफाइटा. ब्रायोफाइटा मीन्स your mosses, and next then is your pteridophyta. Three groups, na? Cryptogams are divided into three groups: your Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta, they have good, well leaf stems and root, but there are no flowers and seeds in them. The plants either have underground stems called rhizome. What are the underground stems of Pteridophyta? Rhizomes, or stem above the ground. They either have stem below the ground or above the ground. भी कुछ कुछ में stem होता है. The leaves are called fronds. What are the leaves of the pteridophyte called? They are called as fronds. The leaves are divided into leaflets. Leaflets means like this. You have this small leaf. Okay, these are the leaflets. Okay, the lower side of the leaves bear small rounded brown structure called sori, which contain spore for reproduction. Okay, the lower side of the leaves के lower side में क्या होता है? एक small rounded brown structure होता है. The brown structure is called as sori, which contains spore for reproduction. Reproduction के लिए spore. तो reproduce किस तरह से करते हैं? Spore के वजह से करते हैं. तो the bear a small rounded brown structure called sori. The basis of reproduction is sori. Sori. And what are the fronds? The leaves are called as fronds. Fronds. Okay, these points you have to remember. And rhizome is your stem, underground stem. Next part is your phanerogams. And the lower part of the leaf is sori, which contains spore for reproduction. Okay. Here is the. So here you have completed about the cryptogames. Next is your phanerogams. Phanerogams means flowering plants. And these are divided into two categories: gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms means the plant which does not produce covered seeds. Angiosperms mean the plant which produce covered seeds. So on the basis of the seed covering, we have divided into two categories. But all the plants in the phanerogams produce flowers. That's why they are called as flowering plants. Okay. So gymnosperms, they are either tall trees or bushes. Instead of the flowers, gymnosperm produce cones. They produce conely like structure. They do not give your bright flowers, they produce cones. Cones are woody reproductive structures. See, flower in a plant is a reproductive structure. They help in reproduction. So cones are the woody reproductive structures that produce thin and naked seeds. Naked seeds means uncovered seeds. The seeds without a cover, and the seeds are not enclosed in the fruits. फ्रूट में सीड नहीं होगा. एप्पल देखो कितनी है, फ्रूट के अंदर सीड है, लेकिन जो जिम्नोस्पर्म जो प्रोड्यूस करेगा उसके फ्रूट के अंदर सीड नहीं होगा. ओके, इसी वजह से ड्यू टू द प्रेजेंस ऑफ नेकेड सीड्स, these plants are called as gymnosperm. Gymno means naked, sperm means seed. See, in human sperms have sperm means a different your aspect, but here normally in your plant aspect sperm means seed. Okay, gymno means naked, sperm means seed. Why gymnosperm? Because they produce naked seeds. Some cones are male, produce pollen grains. See, in your pollination chapter, I have told you what are pollen grains. So pollen grains are the your gametes produced by the male flower. It is your male part of the flower. It is pollen. They produce pollen while the some are female. So the cones, male flower. In your flower also we have male flower, female flower. So here also cones, they are male and female. Sorry, there was some problem. Either this video you will be seeing in the same part or maybe divided into two parts. So consider it as part two. So we have discussed about gymnosperms. That is, gymnosperms produce cones. Some are male and some are female, and the flowers are in the form of woody reproductive structures that are cones. Gymnosperms have well-developed roots as they are your uh, phanerogram. So they have a good differentiated body. That is the roots, sticky and woody stems, long and needle-shaped pointed leaves. Okay, the pointed leaves do not allow to snow to stick on them, because the gymnosperms are usually, you will find them in the mountainous areas where snowfall is prominent. So the snow do not stick on the leaves, so they are pointed and little bit slanting. Thus the plants are not affected. Water is also conserved as there is less transpiration. These gymnosperms are found in deserts or hilly areas. In there you will find less water. In deserts you will find less water, and in hilly areas the water is present in the form of snow. So getting water is very difficult. So water is conserved. Okay, water is conserved. Most gymnosperms do not shed their leaves at one time, remain green throughout the year. They are called evergreen plants. Like cedar, pine, ginkgo, juniper, spruce, and cycas are some examples of gymnosperms. What are the evergreen plants? The plants, the gymnosperms that do not shed their leaf and remain green every time, are known as your evergreen plants. Examples are your cedar, pine, ginkgo, juniper, spruce, and cycas. The examples you have to remember. Okay, there is no other alternative for examples. Plant kingdom, there are two kinds: non-flowering plants, cryptogames. Flowering plants are of phanerogames. Non-flowering plants, one is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. Thallophyta, algae, bacteria, and fungi. Gymnosperm, flowering plants, phanerogames, gymnosperms, plant that bear naked seeds. Angiosperm, plant that bear seeds and enclosed inside the fruit. Means covered seeds. The angiosperms are divided again into dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Seeds with one cotyledon is monocotyledon. Seed with two cotyledon, dicotyledon. See this chart you have to remember. It is very important. See, pine, these are pine, cycas, these are cones. See, cones, woody reproductive structures. Angiosperms. Most plant on the earth are angiosperms. Normally in our gardens, angiosperms are grown. They bear true flowers. Angiosperms are also seeded plants because their seeds are enclosed in the fruits. They produce seeds, covered seeds, and their seeds are enclosed inside their fruits. All crop plants, rose, sunflower, petunia, sugar cane, and pea. are examples of our angiosperms. Crop plants, rose, sugarcane, wheat, pea, etc. The examples of angiosperms. Angiosperms are further divided into two groups, dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Dichotomy, see, your seed is normally one is with two cotyledons, like your nut. If you break it, you will get two parts, part one and part two. So, and one is with one cotyledon. See, rice plant, you cannot break it into two because they have only one cotyledon. But here in your nut, groundnut, you will see two part of a seed, one, cotyledon one and cotyledon two. So seeds with one cotyledon or are called monocot. Okay. Seeds that bear two parts or cotyledons are called dicot. Example of dicot are gram, pea and bean. Monocot example is wheat, maize and rice. Okay, maize also. See, you will see a maize, corn. See, corn, you will see only one part because it cannot be divided into two. Only one cotyledon is present. Okay. In other classifications, see, in your previous video, that is classification of living world, we have learned that we can classify a plant on basis of their size, on basis of their habitat, on basis of their life cycle. So on the basis of their size, plants are divided into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs are very small plants with a soft and green stem called herbs. Examples are mint, pea, and rice. See, mint, pea, rice, spinach, and mustard. Very small plants. You will see a lice plant is very small, and you will see a mango tree is too large. So very small plants with green stem. Normally, the stem of the herbs is green in color. So examples are mint, pea, rice, spinach, and mustard. Serves medium-sized plants, little bit more taller than the herb, but shorter than the trees. They are the shrubs. They look like your bushes. Many branches of almost same size arises from the stem immediately above the soil. Stem are mostly hardy and woody. Little bit hard and woody. Okay, some examples are your rose, jasmine, China rose, and mehendi. Say rose plant, if you see, it is a little bit taller than the rice plant. And if you see the wood, it is brown in color and it is bit woody and hard in nature. Mehendi plant, your China rose, your mandar plant, which we say. China rose plant also a little bit taller and the stems are hard and woody in nature. They are the shrubs. Trees are tall plants, thick and hard and woody stem are called trees. Examples are mango, banyan, neem, and eucalyptus or eucalyptus. So these trees are long in nature. They give us wood so that our furnitures are made from which our furnitures are made. And trees are taller than your shrubs and herbs. They have a strong, thick, hard, and woody stem known as bark. Life cycle also, on the basis of the life cycle also, we can differentiate plants. So into three categories again: annual, biennial, and perennial. What is annual? The plant that complete their life cycle in one season, in a year, or in 1 year. The plant germinate, flower, and produce seeds with a season. Some are paddy, wheat, maize, and mustard. See, कुछ प्लांट होते हैं, some plant are there which flowers only once a season. एक बार फ्लावर करेंगे, एक बार प्रोड्यूस होंगे, फिर वो मर जाएंगे. That are known as annual plant. Examples you can see rice, maize. Rice plant, a rice का पौधा फार्मलैंड में एक बार ग्रो करता है, वो राइस दे देता है, फिर वो डिमोलिश हो जाता है, वो डिके हो जाता है, उसका कुछ काम नहीं रहता. तो एनुअल प्लांट मीन्स कंप्लीट द लाइफ साइकिल इन वन सीजन, इन ए ईयर और इन 1 year. एक सीजन में वो ग्रो करेंगे. ठीक है, दैट आर एनुअल प्लांट्स. Biennial means they complete the life cycle in 2 years. Usually in first year they bear root, stem, leaves and store food. Second year they produce flowers, fruits and seeds. उनका दो पार्ट में उनका लाइफ साइकिल डिवाइडेड है 2 years में. फर्स्ट में क्या करते हैं, रूट ग्रो करते हैं, स्टोर करते हैं फूड को. सेकंड में क्या करते हैं, फ्लावर, फ्रूट, सीड को वो ग्रो करते हैं. एग्जांपल्स क्या है, कैबेज, टर्निप एंड रेडिश. बाइनियल, बाई मीन्स 2. ठीक है, फर्स्ट पार्ट में रूट्स, फ्लावर, रूट ग्रो करते हैं, स्टेम ग्रो करते हैं, लीव्स ग्रो करते हैं और फूड प्रोड्यूस, फूड स्टोर करते हैं, दे स्टोर फूड. इन द सेकंड पार्ट दे प्रोड्यूस फ्लावर्स, फ्रूट्स एंड सीड्स. Perennials plant live for many years. Perennial plants live for many years. They continue to grow and produce flower for many succeeding years. Some plants take several years before producing flowers, fruits, and seeds. Some may live for 100 or 100 of years and keep growing till death, like mango. Mango plant lives for many years. Okay. Neem plant also lives for many years. Eucalyptus also lives for many years. These are the perennial. Perennial means evergreen. So हाँ सब evergreen तो नहीं बोल सकते. Perennial means they live for many years, long lasting, what we say. On the basis of habitat. Size over, life cycle over. Now on the basis of habitat. See examples you have to write and remember. There is no other alternative for remembering examples. On the basis of habitat. Basis of habitat or place where on the plant grows and survives the best. The plants are classified into three groups. See habitat मतलब कुछ plant plains में growth हैं, कुछ plants hills में growth हैं, कुछ plants desert में grow होते हैं. तो habitat, on the basis of habitat we have differentiated plant into three categories or three groups: mesophytes, hydrophytes and xerophytes. What are the mesophytes? Meso means normal, moderate amount of, they grow on land and moderate amount of water उनको चाहिए. They needed less amount of water. That are the mesophytes. Example: potato, tomato and mustard. Normal water. Meso means normal, moderate climate चाहिए. Land में grow करेंगे, plain area में grow करेंगे और उनको moderate amount of water चाहिए growth के लिए. They need a moderate amount of water for growth. They are called as mesophytes. Example are tomato and mustard. See here, annual plant, wheat, turnip is a biennial plant and mango is a perennial plant. Next is sorry, hydrophytes, the plant that need maximum water to grow. They grow on water specifically, so that they live in water. Maximum water चाहिए उन्हें. Hydro means water. They need maximum water for growth, so they live in water. On water they grow specifically. They may be floating in water, or some may be submerged partially or completely in water. Hydrophytes three types होते हैं. One above the water, one submerged, मतलब partially submerged होंगे, half above the land, half below the land, below the surface of the water, half above the surface of the water. And some plants are submerged totally, सब पूरा inside पानी होंगे. Okay. Leaves have a waxy coating. See, this is important. Waxy coating होगा. क्यों waxy coating होता है? To protect themselves in water. देखो water में वो submerged रहते हैं. They remain submerged in water. So to keep them protected in the surrounding of water, they have a waxy mucilaginous covering. Mucilaginous मतलब थोड़ा waxy होगा, थोड़ा चिपचिपा covering होगा उनका, to protect the leaves from the water. Examples देख लो, lotus. Lotus also grows on the surface of the water. Hydrilla, Vallisneria, and water hyacinth. Okay, water hyacinth. These all are the examples of hydrophytes. Xerophytes. Xerophytes grow on deserts. They grow on dry land, deserts where there is scarcity of water, less water. So leaves are reduced into mines to minimize the loss of water. क्यों? अगर leaves अब surface ज़्यादा हो जाएगा तो transpiration ज़्यादा होगा. Transpiration means loss of water. So to minimize the loss of water, they are reduced into spines. In cactus, you must have seen they have a spiny leaves like that. Okay, and they have long roots which grow deep into the ground to absorb water. Because in your desert, you will not find water on the surface. You will find deep below. So their roots are deep. They have a deep roots, long roots, so that it will be easy to absorb water from the ground. Examples: your cactus, which is known as opuntia, babool, which is known as acacia, and Indian plum. They are examples of xerophytes. Next basis is your nutrition. See, all plants are not autotrophs. Basically, or generally, plants are autotrophs, but all plants are not autotrophs. So, we have divided into two categories on the basis of nutrition, that is autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs, as I've already told you, they prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis by the help of your sunlight and chlorophyll. So all green plants are autotrophs, and heterotrophs, some non-green plants are there. Some plants do not have chlorophyll. If there is no chlorophyll, they cannot make their own food. So they are called as heterotrophs. How they will get their food? They will get their food by other animals or other organisms. They will feed on other organisms. Okay. On the basis of that, we have divided into two categories. That is your parasite and saprophytes. Some plant feed on insects. they are called as insectivorous plant. So these they feed on insects. Some plants feed on your dead and decay matter. I cannot say it plant, it is a fungi. Fungi depend on dead and decay matter. Parasitic plants, they get nutrition from other organisms, that is your cuscuta. Okay, the living organisms from whom they derive nutrition are called host. Parasite depend on host. Host means your organisms on which the parasites depend for food or derive nutrition from them. They are the host. Saprophytes are the plants that are decomposers, since they derive the nutrition from the dead and decay animal or plant matter. Examples are mushroom, yeast, and bread mold. See here, plants is written, but I will not say it plant, they are fungi. Specifically, your fungi are saprophytes. They depend on other dead and decay matter to get the nutrition, to get the food. So mushroom, yeast, and bread mold is the example. Cuscuta, see, Cuscuta is here the parasitic plant which depend on other organisms for food. Cuscuta. See plants. Here is a differentiation chart is there. You can take a screenshot on how they are differentiated on the basis of size, habitat, life cycle, and nutrition. This one you can see, and with this your chapter is over. I am seeing if I can put this in one video, otherwise it will come in two videos. So we'll meet in the next class. Till then, thank you. Jai Hind, and please like to subscribe. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Bye bye. We'll meet in the next class.